Lesson 6, Increasing NEAT. In this video, we're going to talk about increasing your NEAT. NEAT stands for Non-Exercise Activity Thermogenesis. NEAT is basically any calories you burn that's not from planned exercise. This includes everything from fidgeting to standing and walking. So, on this table you can see the amount of calories you burn per hour from different types of activities, from resting all the way up to walking 3 miles an hour. You can see a big difference even in the amount of calories burned from sitting motionless to standing while fidgeting. It's nearly double the amount of calories burned. So, as you can see, being even just a little bit more active can have a big effect on your daily calorie expenditure. So more daily activity equals a higher NEAT and more calories burned. And this means two things. First, a higher NEAT means you need to eat more calories to maintain your body weight as your daily calorie expenditure has gone up. Secondly, it means you can create a calorie deficit without having to massively lower your calorie intake, and you simply increased your calorie output, and that's the amount of calories you burned. So let's take a look at this chart. In this example, a dotted line represents the amount of calories this person needs to maintain their body weight, so about 2,000 calories a day. So let's say they also eat 2,000 calories a day. This means that their calorie intake is matching their calorie expenditure, which, as we know from the calorie lesson, will result in their body weight staying pretty much the same. So to create a calorie deficit so we can lose body fat, we now have three main options. The first one is to decrease our calorie intake from around 2,000 calories a day to 1,500 calories a day. This creates a calorie deficit of 500 calories a day. That's a 3,500 calorie deficit over the course of the week. And as we also know from the calorie lesson, that equates to about 1 pound of body fat lost. The second option is to keep our food intake the same, so 2,000 calories a day, but increase our daily calorie energy expenditure by upping our NEAT. Let's say we do this and burn an extra 500 calories a day. Again, we've created a 500 calorie deficit every day, a 3,500 calorie deficit over the course of the week, and about 1 pound of body fat lost. The third option is to use a combination of both. So, decrease our calorie intake slightly and increase our calorie output a little bit too. This works as a happy medium for most people, and again, it can create that calorie deficit leading to fat loss. So, there's often too much focus on how many calories you actually burn at the gym, which in most cases is just actually 2 to 4 or even 5 hours a week. But what are we actually doing to burn calories during the other 160 plus hours a week that we're not in the gym? And that's something that most people need to think about, which means making a bigger conscious effort to up your activity levels. This is where the idea of increasing your daily steps comes into play. As we saw earlier, walking is a really easy way to up your NEAT levels. To start off with, just track your steps for a week and see where you're at. Most phones track steps, or alternatively, if you've got something like a Fitbit or a health tracker that you wear on your wrist, that can come in really handy too. Then, once you've got an idea of where you're at, we can aim to incrementally increase your daily steps to increase your calorie deficit without having to drastically lower your food intake. Because, as I mentioned earlier, the more calories we expend through NEAT, the more calories we can eat while dieting for fat loss. And that's always really useful for adherence and being able to stick to it, because eating more food is always easier than eating less food. Here's a few options that you can think about to implement into your daily routine.